tip number 2. You know, these are in random order. These are not in order of importance, but I wanted to put them together into a playlist just so that if you're new and you've got questions about carnivore and even dirty carnivore, which is like relaxed carnivore, not sure whether I like that. I use the word dirty because everybody uses that word dirty. That's why I used it. Wouldn't be my choice of word, but that's what everyone else uses. But relaxed carnivore is good. Carnivore-ish is another nice term. I follow a lady called Terry Least. She's really cool. And she's done carnivore, keto, and calorie counting to lose weight. I'll put her handle here. And that's really cool because I think there's a bit of tunnel vision around calorie counting, even in the carnivore community. And I just think that there is so many unique propositions for every person's body. I don't think you can tell someone else they shouldn't count calories. If even mindset has a massive amount to do with counting calories, weight loss, right? It is not a sum zero game for just what your diet plan, your meal plan. You know, give me a menu plan and I can lose weight. That doesn't work for me. So I'm guessing that there's others that it doesn't work for. All right, but let's not get off track. I've been vlogging today because on my channel I also vlog what I eat in a day. And so I've had my breakfast. Well, I ate half of it because I was so hungry when I cooked it that I made more than I could eat. So cheers, this is my morning coffee. Oh, I don't have it every day actually, but I'm having a coffee this morning. And these are my electrolytes. Now, this tin is not what I'm having. These are my homemade electrolytes, but I used to buy this sugar-free chocolate. So I just used the tin because it was easy, but it's got a lot of salt in it and potassium and magnesium powder. And my daughter is so funny. She was here one night ages ago and wanted a hot chocolate, and she pulled this out and then she went, "Mum, what's in this?" And I said to her, "I wouldn't have that, Emma. That's not going to give you the hot chocolate you want." Because it's salty chocolate. Anyway, so that's what's in my cup this morning. I'm going to drink whilst I talk about budgeting. So I see a lot of queries around grass-fed versus grain-fed, and genuine small budgets that want to do carnivore. So I thought my tip number 2 is, and I know none of this is going to be rocket science for you. I'm just getting my notes. None of this is going to be rocket science for you, but sometimes it's good just to hear someone else say it out loud for your ears, right? Isn't that why we go on YouTube and listen to other people's experiences and stuff like that? So number 1 that I've got written down is buy what you can afford. Don't stress over grass-fed. So for me personally, in my budget, I don't have a budget. I don't like to say I can't afford because it's all relative to what you prioritize spending your money on, right? But I haven't put grass-fed in my budget at this time. Excuse me. Having said that, I eat grass-fed beef from time to time because of other reasons. And one of those reasons is there's a place here in Perth. It's a farm down south. Well, they source a lot of grass-fed meat. And I've worked out, tip number 2 is that I buy whole cuts. Whole cuts, they're called. You could say buy in bulk, but I don't mean spend $1,000 on meat. That's not what I'm meaning. Buying bulk as in buy a whole cut and slice it up yourself. Now, I was very nervous when I first did this. In fact, I put it off for a few months. But then when I started to look, I went carnivore in February 2024 this year. And when I started to sort of then do the math after the fact, I worked out that it certainly doesn't cost me any more to do carnivore, not at all. I find because I buy bulk cuts, I spend my money in like once or twice a month. Maybe twice a month would be more realistic to say. But I would buy once a month, I would buy a brisket, sometimes a chuck roll It just depends on how much it costs. A rump cap, a picanha rump cap, 1 or 2 of those, and some porterhouse. So that would be my biggest cost, is porterhouse, because I have it every day. So I buy the most of it, which is why I say that. Now, you can get the whole cut, and you're going to, here in Perth, where I live in Western Australia, it's around between $20 and $23 a kilo. Now, a kilo is £2, so that's, let's just say it's 20 Australian dollars for £2, and 20 Australian dollars is about 14 US. So 14 US for £2. I don't know if that's a good deal for you guys, but that's how much it is here in Australia. And you can sort of, I don't know how euro dollars works, or the British pounds, I'm not sure. Quickly off the top of my head, that conversion rate. So, but that's a very good price here. So I will buy porterhouse, and yeah, it's not, look, I can tell that it's not the best quality porterhouse or New York strip in the world, but it's delicious. It's great. It is good. It's good quality. It's not Wagyu. Budgeting, buy what you can afford. I buy grain fed. And I've heard, so here's the caveat on that. I've heard that people that have done the carnivore diet for a long time have become, they're fine-tuned in their body, and then can tell when they're eating what the animal has eaten that they are eating. That may or may not be you. So many people have different reasons for coming to carnivore, and have a very unique health disposition that they are catering to, which is why, one of the reasons why I think we have to have empathy with one another on the way each person's doing their version of carnivore. So I'm on the Martine version of carnivore, because I've got my own set of situations that I've got to manage, right? And you do too, if you're doing carnivore, or you may just be curious. But I do think, and so that's where the Facebook group Dirty Carnivore for Beginners came from, just being able to have a group where you give each other permission to do it your way, and not criticize, not bully, not tell someone what they should and shouldn't be eating, that they're not carnivore if they're not, there is a definite change for me between doing carnivore and doing ketovore even, and keto. If I'm in a mindset of ketovore, I've got a lot more options and possibilities than what I have had this year doing carnivore. So it's hard for someone to say to me, you're not doing carnivore. I mean, that's not true for me. That's not true for me. So we have to be careful. Hair's sticking out. I'll try and ignore it. Budget. Buy what you can afford. Don't get caught up in grass-fed versus grain-fed. I think the extra stress on your budget of trying to buy grass-fed, it does depend on why you're doing it, but I just think we can miss the boat. For me, I had to get into that zero carb space. That was my goal. So I'm obviously coming from that perspective when I say this to you. So take that into consideration, right? I love what Dr. Ken Berry says. If you can't do panda massaged grass-fed beef, it's okay. It's okay. He actually says, I know I was shocked when I heard him say this, you can do carnivore on sausages and polony or bologna or the equivalent of that. I'm like, wow. And Spam. Look, when you think about it, it's meat at the end of the day. What quality of meat it is, well, you can make that decision up for yourself. But I actually trust him. I actually think his opinion matters, so I actually believe that there is a version of carnivore, absolutely, that, you could do on sausages. I have sausages from time to time, and they're not zero carb. They're not. There might be 3, 2, 0, 1 grams of, I do the best I can when I want to have a sausage. It's a different texture for me, and I'm a texture eater, and it's helped me. Look, could I count how many times I've had sausages this year? Probably, but that's not the point. The point is I've had them. I gave them to myself as part of my budget, as part of my food list, as part of my permissions. And I think that's really important when you're considering doing the carnivore diet, or, if you're struggling with what everyone else's version of carnivore is, maybe this will help you go, it's okay. Do your version of it if it helps you stay in the lane that you've set for yourself. My lane is zero carb. as close to zero carb as I can get, obviously, with those allowances that I make. A couple of tips for small budgets then. That's really it. Like, really, for me, the biggest thing I would want to say to you is don't stress about grass-fed. Don't stress about it. Whatever your budget allows you to do, enjoy that. Because, you know, when you stress, you create a whole heap of other chemicals around your food. That's not good for you either. So don't stress about it. Do what you can afford. A couple of tips for small budgets. Mincemeat is great. So I know everyone advocates for 80-20, and I get it because it's higher in fat and fat's good. But I personally can't do 80-20. I've tried it. I tried for several years until I realised that it's the fat in it that makes me feel sick and queasy. So I just do the 90-10. I love it. I add fat to all my meals anyway. I'm really doing high-fat carnivore, or most of the, that's mostly my effort. I'm not pedantic about it. Sometimes I might not have a high-fat meal, but that is my mindset because I'm in my 50s, I'm post-menopause, and it's important for me, who have not had good healthy fats her whole life, to, make sure I'm doing that. And my body tells me when I don't want it. It's rare, but it tells me when I don't want it. No, let's have something lean. I think that's why I switched from Scotch to porterhouse when I started carnivore after a couple of weeks, because I started with Scotch. I'm pretty sure I started with Scotch. And I must have, because I remember saying to myself, I'm going to try New York strip. And I love it. And I tried Scotch the other day and I just went, no. Buy in quantities, you get better prices in quantities. Mince is a great option, but you can find steak. I get it half the price, so it's $45 a kilo in Coles and Woolworths. I go to a place called the Beef Shed in Malaga here in Perth, and it's $20 a kilo, from 45 to 20, 21, somewhere around there. That's less than half the price. And again, is the quality at the shop better? Marginal. I've never used to buy porterhouse from the shop, so I can only compare Scotch. But I don't know. It was nice and delicious. Was it better? I don't know if it was better than the steak I'm getting now. I love the porterhouse steak I have every day. And the other tip is local supermarkets often have discounted meat. It could be Saturday afternoon, when they're finishing for the week. Find out when yours are and go there and at that time and get yourself some discounted meat. There are ways to fit your budget. There are ways to do carnivore on your budget. There are just ways. I've just seen it so many times, and I myself know, like when I needed to get mincemeat which is ground beef, is $20 a kilo here, and could be more here in Perth. And that is how much I pay for my porterhouse steak. That's a crazy amount of money. When I worked out that it was 90-10, because I was sort of not having mincemeat because I couldn't find one that didn't make me feel queasy. Just the one, Harvey beef, but it was $22 a kilo. So I would only buy it on special occasions when I just really, 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 really wanted some. But now I've worked out the reason I like that is because it was lean. I didn't know that because they don't ever put their percentages on their packet. They never have. So I had to work it out for myself, worked it out, and then I said to myself, now I've got to find some lean mince that isn't $20 a kilo, and I did. I get it for $12.99 a kilo from my local Farmer Jack's, it's called. It's a supermarket chain here in WA. So you can find stuff, you can find it. Work within your budget, you can find it. So good luck. If you have any questions, please ask below. This is all anecdotal evidence. I'm just doing this journey for myself. I've been playing with carnivore for a couple of years, doing mainly ketovore really for me. But in February I went full-time carnivore. My daughter and I are doing it together, and she's had massive health improvements with her skin. So eczema and inflammation and all sorts of awful symptoms that have gotten wow, her life's changed. She's lost heaps of weight, she needed to lose some kilos, but not not anything major like me, but she's just continually losing just, bits and pieces. I've gone down several dress sizes, but I'm not weighing myself. So, because that is a mental game that I don't need to fight. It's a mental fight. It's an emotional fight for me. Weighing myself, expectations, not meeting expectations, struggling, having a big loud voice in my head. No, I decided not to do that. By the end of February this year, I said no. So I've put the scales away. Can't remember where I put them now, but they're somewhere. I think I'm going to weigh myself at Christmas time. Anyway, I won't go on. Tip number 2 is buy what you can afford. Don't worry about grass-fed, and let things take their natural course. Just do the next thing for you. If it means just eating meat for all of your meals in a day, if that's the next thing for you, if the next thing for you is eating one meal a day that's just meat and the other 2 have got veggies and fruit and something else in it, do that if that's the next step for you. With your budget, do the next step for you. If the next step is grass-fed, do grass-fed. But if you're here and you're on a budget, and grass-fed's expensive, I only get it if it's really affordable. That's the only time I get it. I was telling you about Dirty Clean Foods here in Perth. Yeah, so I found a place, they do a bulk cut. So I ventured into doing that, and I saved myself a ton of money, but I still work out the price per kilo to see if it actually is cheaper. Or the same price as what I can get. If it's the same price as what I can get, I'm still getting better because I'm getting grass-fed, right? But if it's not the same price, if I could get porterhouse for say $30 a kilo grass-fed, I wouldn't buy it because it's dearer than what I can get right now. And my budget is based around sort of what I've been eating and what I know that I need. So that's what I would do. But you do you. I'll do me, you do you. All right, hope that helps. Mwah. Sending you lots of love. Bye.